That was weird. That was like we were in alternate realities, and you were you were in one kind of chat, and I was in another kind of chat, but we weren't linked up. But you still followed. You had to have followed the link that I sent, because how else would you ended up there?
Yeah, I was in, and I was in there. I literally have in my email the last three emails are from you. It's called "What We Into," and it has the same one was for the first two emails. One was at 9:59, the other one was at 10:32, and then the last one was just at 10:36. And I opened all of them and just been sitting there twiddling my thumbs like,
I'm on time.
Anytime now.
Where is he?
Anytime now. I mean, like if you notice my name for this one, it's because I'm Batman. With a question mark, because the previous times were because I'm Batman 2, and then this last one I was like, I don't even know if it's gonna fucking work.
Like it's an excuse. You're like, why do you think you get to do this? Because I'm Batman. All right, fair enough.
yeah, man. That's what it is. That's what it do.
My baby's in the backseat, reading a magazine. I'm in the...
There's a family in our driveway.
It's probably the neighbors. But y'all scared of a family? Hi, can I help you?
Zora, put your shoes on.
If you want to get crazy, we can get crazy.
How you been, buddy?
I've been all right, man. It's been an interesting view into the lives of people who have young children. So I'm imagining because I'm here for the week, so I'm here for their routine, like their daily routine. And I imagine like it was not unlike when Penn and Daisy were about this age, and I can just see you because my boy, he actually works in a restaurant too on the weekends, very similar to the way like you kind of get down.
Yeah.
And so it's been interesting kind of viewing him go through the motions of his day to day, and just kind of like imagining you
What's
doing
left
this and
of
being
it.
like, you know. Mm-hmm. So like I didn't get to see us this week because I was kind of beholden to a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old's schedule, because they're both like one goes to, like in the same way that like one goes to school half day and then the other one goes to school like full day. And
Yeah,
sort of like regulating.
The half day is cruel, because by the time you take them there, drop them off. I mean, it's better than nothing, but you take them there, you drop them off, you get back, you have a cup of coffee, you take a poop, maybe you eat some breakfast or whatever.
There it is, baby.
And then you watch like one thing.
Poop reference. We should keep a counter for every time you talk about
click, click. Oh, I got one. I got one of those little. You know when you enter like the club and they click it off.
Yeah, that's what we need for your poo. Your poo.
Yeah. But yeah, then you basically do like one thing, and then you're like, oh shit, it's time to go pick up my kid. So then you go back, you pick up your kid.
Well, one of the things I noticed is that his day always starts at around 6:45. That's when I noticed like the first signs of a young, small human sort of addressing the day. And then I quickly vacate where I sleep, which is like the TV living room area.
Get up,
because that's where they have to come. Because that's where they have to come to watch, their morning routine. So I then dip off into the study to get a couple more hours in. But yeah, it's
a couple more hours of studying. You mean? Because you've been up all night hitting the books.
Yeah, right. On that tangent, should we tell motherfuckers who we are? We're literally running into 4 minutes, and we haven't even introduced ourselves.
Yeah, let's do the whole episode as if they just stumbled onto us, and let's not tell them, so that they're just like, who are these guys? What do they do here? No, okay, go
let's
ahead.
Do it well,
actually, I want to do something real quick for me. On the count of 3, say 1, 2, 3, go. And I'm gonna try to say it with you, because what's happening is because you were in Louisiana and I'm here in New York, we're getting like a delay, not through the
Oh, I've
mic.
heard it. I listened. I listened to the last episode, and I definitely heard it.
Yeah, right. So what's weird is like I keep trying to pair them up, and every time I pair them up, they fall out of pairing. And I think there's because there's a delay, and because we're getting a bit of an echo. I think on my end, from my headphones to the mic. So what we're actually hearing is you through the mic, but your voice is actually a second later from your end. Does that make sense? It's almost like a weird time travel thing that's happening.
It's like that movie with Randy Quaid, Frequency.
Yes. No, Randy
Randy?
Quaid. No,
Was that Randy?
that was I love that movie. The movie's so good. Not Randy Quaid. Inner space guy. Not Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, I think it was one of the Quaids.
Is it? Oh God!
I think it's one of the damn Quaids.
It doesn't sound right because I'm saying it out loud. But hold on, I got to look it up. It's such a good
5
movie,
minutes
too.
in. 5 minutes in, we're already looking stuff up.
Yeah. Before we do the introduction, before we do this type thing, yeah, Frequency in 2000, Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid. There you go.
I told you it was a Quaid, man.
It is. Are they brothers? Is Dennis Quaid and
Yes.
Randy Quaid? That's so weird because
Yes.
Randy Quaid is like a weirdo, and
Yes.
Dennis Quaid.
Well,
is probably
every
weirdo
family's
too,
got one, dude. Every family's got. I feel
read
like
the
if. Go ahead.
This movie's amazing, by the way, but the tagline for Frequency, which came out in 2000, is, what if you had the chance to travel back in time to change just one event in your life? Oh, man. If I had... Yeah.
It almost has nothing to do with the actual movie.
It's so good.
That synopsis.
It's such a good movie. If I can't think of a movie to watch for next week, we're watching Frequency. All right.
Shit. But then
On three.
We're definitely going to do something else.
Just start counting 1, 2, 3, and then clap afterwards, okay?
Okay.
Say it. You gotta say it out loud, though.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me a cue to say it.
Yeah, okay. On your mark, get set, go. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3, clap. All right. So I'm just going to line it up with that. And if you keep hearing an echo, we'll just, whatever. This is a free podcast. Sorry.
See, this is how the sausage gets made, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
And if you haven't realized yet, I'm your boy Rob Karma Robinson at this almost 7-minute mark.
And I am Lawrence Dial. I had to now. My name, I don't know what it is about my name, like Lawrence Arthur Dial. Like, I feel like I have to announce it regally. As if it's not really my name, as if it's like I'm the court gesture and there's a keying. And here is Lawrence Arthur Dial.
And in case you were wondering, this is what we're into.
What We Into, a weekly podcast dedicated to movies, video games, comic books, pooping, daily life activities.
Just whatever. Whatever we just happen to be into that particular damn week.
Each week we focus.
Shout out.
Yeah, what?
Week 16, man.
I know!
We're officially weeks down.
It's officially not a creepy age to lose our virginity as long as the other person is also 16.
Oh, God. Oh, I
Probably not younger and not too much
I'm not
older,
touching that one.
but just
I'm not
right
touching
there.
that one.
I know.
I'm leaving that one the hell alone.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stop thinking about Frequency. It's so good.
Jesus Christ.
It's like I almost need to go back and rewatch it just to be like, okay, maybe it hasn't aged well, but
I think you might be disappointed, bro. I honestly do.
No, it's so good.
I like Randy in most things. I feel like Frequency wasn't my bag.
Oof.
It was good.
Yeah.
But just not as good as you're purporting it to be.
Directed by Gregory Hoblit, screenplay by Toby Emmerich. I think it's Toby Emmerich.
Well, any dudes.
Is he the guy who did
Toby
all
Emmerich the what?
Toby Emmerich. Didn't he do all of the what are you eating? Candy? Unwrap all of your candy before the podcast, please.
You can hear that?
Yes, I can hear. These are the most sensitive, like, cheap $50 mics of all time. Like, if it's...
Well, I mean, can it hear the digestion of the eggs and grits that I just partook of?
You didn't make those. You
Of
made
course not.
a mother
Of course
make
not.
those for you, didn't you?
Okay, look, I didn't make her make those. She offered, and I politely and quickly said absolutely.
Oh. Well, so the guy who wrote Frequency also was a producer for Blade Trinity. Because all things circle back.
Lead back to Blade.
That's right. We can go off of that.
Yikes. Yikes. If
so
you haven't realized yet, also, we love tangents.
we do love
'Cause
tangents.
10 minutes in.
Especially if we can somehow magically find our way back to a tangent.
Oh, we will.
We will. We always do.
We will be.
We
We
eventually
will
always
be.
end the podcast. It always ends. Although last week, you didn't listen to the whole thing. It was like 3 hours.
I did. I did
did?
listen to the whole thing. Yeah, I did.
We had a family meltdown last week because I was like editing the podcast. Because we recorded on Saturday the second half, and then on Sunday I was editing it, and Laurel just
it was our longest. It was our longest one too.
That's why you don't realize that people who listen every week, they might have realized last week's episode did not have as much inner cuts of sound segments and things like that in it. Because I just got to a point where I was like, I need to be part of my family, because Laurel was not having it. She's like, no, you've got to come be part of this thing that you created.
So
this other thing you created.
What did that entail? What was it?
What did I go be a part of? Well, we just had a gigantic fight for like 2 hours. When you're a married couple, maybe other married couples don't do this. We have a gigantic fight about almost like clockwork, once every 6 to 8 months. Colossal.
Oh wow, okay.
Nasty,
Blow
dirty
up.
fight. And then
But that just leads to the makeup sex, really? I mean, that just right?
No, these are more like
break up to makeup.
No, these are bad taste in your mouth. It takes about a week to get to the makeup sex.
But you do get to the makeup sex.
You always get back to the sex as a married couple, and if you're not getting back to the sex as a married couple, I don't want to say that that's a really bad sign, but that's a really bad sign.
I'm pulling the Rodney Dangerfield.
I don't necessarily believe that you can have a happy relationship without sex for sure, but to me, if you're not having sex and you're married, that's hardcore. You should probably talk to each other about that a little bit.
Yeah, or somebody else that gets paid a whole lot more.
Yeah. If you and your partner, you want to stay together as a married couple because of your kids, but you don't want to have sex with each other, which is completely understanding. I understand that.
Is it?
I think so, yeah, sure, why not? This person's a really good partner. They're a really good mate, except I just don't want to get intimate with them.
Ever have them in
Which is, by the way, not...
Or...
And you know me and Laurel, that's not our relationship at all. In fact, the opposite. We generally, everything can be falling around us, and we'll have, very good sex. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're listening to this. The sex will
sorry,
always
Mom
be
and Dad.
good.
How about
sorry
me?
Sorry you. Whatever.
Well, I mean, actually, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you're talking about a wife of yours who loves to shower when company's over.
Yes.
And then
what is up with that?
And then go from the bathroom to your guys' bedroom.
I'm so happy.
In a towel and be like, excuse me.
I'm so happy.
I'm like, Laurel, you knew I was coming over here 3.5 hours ago. You could have done this beforehand. No,
Yes.
not that I'm complaining.
For context, for our listeners, which most of them know her anyway, so they know this to be true, but she will host these amazing parties for Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthday parties for
goes
our kids.
all out.
And then she'll get everything ready up until the very... I'll be like, people are going to be here in a minute. And then right when the doorbell rings, she'll be like, jumping in the shower. And then the shower, and then people will come over. And they'll be hanging out, be like, where's Laurel? I'll be like, oh, she's in the shower. And they're like, oh. And then just as you said, she will wander out after about 3 or 4 guests into the bedroom. As if our apartment isn't just 2 rooms.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not Thanksgiving unless Laurel comes out in her towel. For me, at least the last few, I'm like, that stuffing smells good, and there's Laurel in the towel. Okay, we can start it now.
Oh man!
Oh, she's awesome. That's awesome. So, should we jump into some news, or do we want to meander some more?
Let's jump into some news.
Channel 4 News at 6 o'clock.
You want to go first, or do I want to go first?
You know what? I'll go first because I actually didn't get a chance to see Us this week, so I figured I would hold up some of the more, to do things in this relationship.
I'm gonna carry the piano down the stairs, but you'll get the bench, is what you're saying.
I will definitely get the bench because I got this bad back. And my sciatica been acting up, so I ain't trying to risk it. You know what I'm saying?
Just be careful because there are some some music books in the bench, so it's a little heavier than it looks. Don't worry, I got
okay, I didn't sign up for that.
I got
didn't
the
sign
piano,
up for music benches in the books in the benches. That's too much. That's too much. News. Yeah. I'll start with some news that we both can enjoy. Apparently,
No.
You know that.
Stop. Start with only the news that only you would enjoy. I don't want to hear news that I enjoy.
Okay. Well, that is I can do that too. I mean, so apparently we're getting in video game news, we're getting a brand new Borderlands. Apparently,
Oh,
there was
really?
a teaser that dropped this week. Yeah. Well, it's all but they've all but confirmed it. They've all but said it. But a new teaser trailer came out this week for Borderlands 3. It is not called Borderlands 3. It's not really called anything, but it has all the usual suspects from Borderlands. With that little gearbox robot or whatever.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
So
Mask of
that
Mayhem.
looks excitable. Mask of Mayhem. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Next, there's another Doom game coming called Doom Eternal. I saw a few little gameplay snippets of it. I never played the first one, but a lot of people who did that opinions I respect spoke very highly of it and are kind of looking forward to this new one.
Okay.
And
slow down just a second. Slow down. Okay, because I'm watching this Borderlands game. Did you play any of the other Borderlands games?
I played the first two. And then they kind of spun off and had like a couple little. I think they had other games on like other systems, but I didn't get into sort of like the.
Yeah, and Telltale did like kind of a storytelling version of Borderlands. Because Borderlands is basically a game where you go around, you shoot a bunch of things, and you just keep collecting better and better weapons, right?
Guns. It's not. It's kind of not unlike what I'm playing now, Destiny 2, but in a first person viewership instead of the third person.
Right.
And it had this really great art style that was kind of like this shell, like the whole game was cell shaded. Yes. So it made it look kind of like this throwback kind of graffiti look. It was really cool. Like aesthetically speaking, it was one of the better looking first person shooters, and they kind of took the genre into a different arena with like sort of the looting ability of all, because basically you just go from point A to point B, just picking up newer and different guns, and it really is about the loot.
Right. Okay.
I think it was one of the first games that sort of like instituted like that carnal desire to just get something better, or maybe you might get something better. You know?
Right. So if that game came out next week, would you buy it?
No, I'd probably wait.
Okay.
There's a list of games right now that I think I'm more inclined to play. The next on that list being Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is the sequel.
Right.
Yeah, which is a sequel. It's basically the continuation of these Wolfenstein stories that they've been telling through these video games. Which I never played the first one. I played the second one, and it was awesome. It's incredible. It's an incredible game. It's made by Bethesda, the same guys who did Skyrim.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that this next one will be, and it's following the daughters of the guy from the first and second video games, BJ Blazkowicz. His daughters are now looking for him in this third one. And
right.
I was watching some of the gameplay for it. It looks insane. And Wolfenstein is sort of the granddaddy of all first person shooters. Like without Wolfenstein, there'd be no Doom.
Is that
Without
true? Wolfenstein was first, and then Doom came.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure on the timeline.
Yeah, Wolfenstein was first.
And you never
Wolfenstein
played that.
Was definitely
Doom.
the first one.
You were talking about the Doom.
Yeah,
because I was just listening to another podcast, and they were talking about it, and I was like, maybe I should pick up Doom. It's probably only like $10.
It got high.
Right?
Yeah, it's real cheap now.
Yeah.
It got high marks, man. I just I felt like I had played that game already, just because having played the first one on PC for as long and as hard as I did. It was good to see it sort of revamped and repolished, but I was like, I played that game.
Yeah.
There's really no need for me to go and play it again, you know. But it looks good. And the reviews for it were really gnarly, and this new one looks pretty good. So I mean, I'm all for games that are continuing a story that a previous game started, because I like storytelling in games.
Yeah, this looks intense. The Wolfenstein games were intense, so that makes
they were gnarly. Yeah,
very good observation there. Well, thank you. Thank you.
I was not ready. We have a guest on the show? I didn't know you were bringing another guest.
It's just me.
Oh, right.
Me and
just
myself.
your other personalities. You want me to keep going? I got a couple more things on the list.
Yeah, give us one more.
Okay, so my favorite website for reading comics online, I guess no longer exists, man.
Oh no!
Viewcomic.com. I thought maybe like they had just had some internal upkeep issues, but I've been looking for it for the last month, and it's not come back. I think it's no longer a viable way to read comics for free online anymore.
So ViewComic was this website, not comics with an S, but viewcomic.com. You could type it in, and it had a list of like thousands of comic books. But I did notice I was trying to look something up, and I was trying to look up the Elite of Battle Angels to read those on there, and they weren't on there.
No, most manga you're not gonna find manga on viewcomic.com, which was kind of a letdown when you think about it.
Yeah.
But I think it mostly just focused on US based comic book companies, DC, Marvel, Dark Horse. Like anything that you could go into a comic book store today and sort of pick up is where they focused on. So they had a lot of those companies.
And they were around for a long time, ViewComic.
They literally were my go-to online comic book reading for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What do you think the legality behind that is?
Honestly, I was blown away that they lasted so long.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was because they were crowdsourced, they were crowdfunded every month. Every month after you got to the bottom of the, the browser page, they would always like try to hit you up for a donation to keep the site up and running. And that's why occasionally when you would log on into the site, it wouldn't be up. It'd be like they would show you the little thermometer and how much money they needed to do it. And it was like that for the better part of the time that I was using. But this most recent time, it's not even there. It goes to one of those random like links that just sends you down a rabbit hole of other links.
I'm looking at it right now. It's bestreviews.guide. And it's like the website www.bestdeals.today would like to show you alerts and notifications.
Yeah,
like, why would anybody be like, yes, please send me alerts? Yeah. And then it keeps bouncing back to best reviews to best deals, like back and forth.
They've scrubbed it somehow. And it's kind of it sucks because now I have to go. Now I have to find another way to read comics online for free. That's as easy to use as ViewComics was, because it really was, just a search bar at the top, and they would have the most latest comic book covers on the homepage, and then you just type whatever you were looking for into that search box, and it would bring up, boom.
Oh, by the way,
all of that stuff.
Don't type in ViewComic into your computer, because it's now literally a page that it won't let me shut unless I shut down my entire browser. Oh my God!
Serious?
Now I'm stuck.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow. See, there you go, folks. Doing the crisis so you don't have to.
What?
That's what we do here. We do.
Oh my God, this is annoying. I have all these pages open that I want to talk about, and now I can't because you sent me to best reviews.
I did not send you there. I told you the site wasn't working anymore. You took it upon yourself to do that. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
What do I... Oh my God, really?
I was trying to inform our listeners that the site didn't exist anymore. You didn't have to prove me wrong by opening the browser yourself.
Okay, I got
Bingo,
it.
bango.
I got it.
Mambo
fine.
tango.
Oof. I had to click on don't allow literally like 20 times, and finally it worked.
Yeah, boy.
Woo. All right. I wanted to take a moment. I actually meant to do this a little bit earlier. I wanted to push our Patreon page for a second. If you go to Patreon, patreon.com/whatweinto, you can go and donate a few bucks. I just wanted to push it because what I'm gonna do here after we get through the news is talk about all the different places that are listening to What We Into right now. And,
yeah.
Which is awesome because it's just from an interest level. It's all across the world, lots of different places.
No kidding.
Yeah, places
That's cool.
that
I'm stoked to hear it. So
if you like the show, so if you like the show, go to patreon.com/whatweinto. You can donate $3, or you can donate $5, or you can donate $10. It just keeps going up, guys, all the way up until $15,000.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. We should
Which is
interject
the
Fat
triple
Joe's
dog
all the
dare
way up
you
right there.
tier. And our explanation of it is don't do it. Any Patreon donating this much money, which is $15,000, will have an entire episode dedicated to their eternal stupidity. Want to be roasted for 2 hours? Send us $15,000. See what happens.
I dare you. I really do.
Patreon.com/whatweinto. It helps out. Did you hear about this high school musical? Not musical.
Yes.
Yes.
A buddy of mine went.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine was there.
I sent it to Wade Leostro, who did all our graphic art for this show. Basically,
Shout out to the
him and
boy
I
Wade.
grew up obsessed with Aliens and Predator, which is now owned by Disney, which is just weird.
Yo, God.
But back in the day, we had always wanted to put up a play based on, not Alien the first one, but Aliens the second one. But a high school in Jersey basically did it. They put up a play called
And
Alien.
it looked legit.
Alien the play.
A buddy of mine was there and sent me like the finale. He sent me like the finale of the play where she blows the alien out into space,
Yes.
like in that first movie.
Yes.
I gotta say, man, not for nothing, the shit looked hot. It looked hot. Like if I was in New York, I'd be trying to get a ticket now. I think.
Oh yeah, it's Jersey. I think it only ran for like 3 days.
Yeah, I mean you remember how high school shows went? Yeah,
Yes.
you had like.
But had I heard about
3-day
this
run or
before,
a weekend.
and had you been here, we would have gone to see it for sure.
I
Talk about
definitely
it
would have tried
just
to
for the
like,
show.
Cause yeah, actually, that buddy who saw it was the same dude I worked with on his. It was a pilot for I don't know who, but it was called the Red Ball Express, and he wrote and directed it, and it was an interesting shoot because we went and filmed it in Virginia, and he had gotten access to like these military vehicles and like tanks, and it was gnarly. It was a gnarly shoot. And he shot the whole thing on his like new iPhone. Like I forget what iPhone it was. Like an iPhone, whatever the most recent iPhone it was at the time.
Yeah.
But he had bought like a little gimbal, and like it was like it shot in 4K. It looked amazing when it was all said and done. But it's just
Then it had to be like
I
an
just
8.
shout to the
I think because
it had. What was the one that started? Whatever the first one that was shooting in 4K it was. That's the one he had.
Yeah.
He had like this little gimbal thing that kept it level whenever depending on how his hand was being held. It was a gnarly shoot, just how guerrilla it was, but also how much of a hustler he was to get everything. Like everything that we got to use was for free, but we were like using like legit World War II military vehicles and rifles and all that. And he just shout to that boy John Huggins. I think he's actually making moves. He's actually doing some stuff.
Now I guess
he started his own film company. He started his own film production company. I forget the name of it. John, forgive me, man. I know you sent me the link for it, but I can't remember it. But John Huggins, look him up.
John Huggins. You can Google that shit.
Google.
So I'm pretty sure it's illegal to do this, to put up a play called Alien the Play, but because it's a high school, I guess nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean,
because even the Alien franchise Twitter page tweeted, "We are impressed. 40 years and still going strong." But I guess like it would be a bad look
if they
dicks
about it.
If they schooled like a small little if they sued a small little school in New Jersey.
I think before signing off whatever the school was, I think they knew what they were getting into. Like they were like, what are they going to do? Sue us?
Yeah. What are they going to do?
I think
for 2 shows that we make no money on. Yeah.
Right. I think somebody had the final go ahead to be like, yeah, we're going to do this. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. It's very much like Rushmore, where Max Fisher puts up the little plays. And I think if I remember correctly, I got to look it up. I'm looking it up on.
That's a great movie. We should do that at one point.
Yeah, Rushmore's great, but I think in the extra features, there's like it shows you all the different plays that they did, and one of them is like giant. Let's see, and look it up here.
And this is where I tap dance in the interim of looking stuff up.
So in Rushmore, they do Serpico.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
that's right.
They also do. I don't know. They do another movie too, Serpico. Then they do like the Vietnam movie that he writes at the end, which is great.
Adios Exposito.
Yeah, Adios Exposito. I don't know what. Think of it. What's another really good movie that you could do right now as a play that?
Right now as a play,
What would be the most ridiculous?
The
Game
most
of Thrones
ridiculous
as a
would
play
probably
would be pretty funny.
I think Talladega Nights as a play would be amazing.
Talladega Nights. That's a good I guess that's like
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park would be a funny one. But you know what? I wonder if they got the idea because Bob's Burgers, which you don't watch, has an episode where they do sort of like an alien musical, Aliens the Musical.
We did a little play called Moms Are Out of This World. It took place out of this world. I played a tough lady named Sigourney with a complicated backstory and a great jumpsuit. I was on a mission with a couple of spunky space marines to wipe out an incredibly dangerous alien species that had a thing for jumping out of people's chests.
Yuck!
I know, right?
So it wasn't an original idea. Bob's Burgers did it first.
Well, I mean, technically me and Wade thought of it way back, and Wade, and Peterson thought of it way back in like 1997. So
I think thought property doesn't count. Bro.
Yeah. Because
by that definition, I've thought up a lot more things that I've just seen happen. I've been prognosticating since I was about 12 years old, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like the original. Well, not the original, but I was definitely like the second generation Negro Damos.
So we did Demolition Man the play would be awesome.
Demolition Man the play would be the shit.
Yeah. Alien Party Crashers the play. I bet we could do
Peter.
that. That would be pretty.
Hey, Peter.
We could actually do that. I feel like Peter would be like, sure, bros. Do it.
Sure, mate. You guys do that.
Well, it looks awesome. Check out. It's all over the internet. They have a little trailer for it.
Yeah,
you can see
it went viral. It went viral like the first 2 hours that people were like, yo, have you seen this?
Yes. What else do I got? Oh, let's see. I got Star Wars news and I got Star Trek news. Which would you rather hear?
Okay. Well, since I've been on my Trek shit, why don't we start with the Trek shit?
Okay. So, I was on some Trek shit too. But the showrunner, which is, what's his face? Kirkman, Alex Kurtzman, he basically says, I almost cried during Patrick Stewart's new Picard script reading. Because he does Discovery, and he's also doing the new Picard show.
Oh,
he's got a little quote here that I'm going to read because it sounds really good. It almost made me cry just reading the quote about him almost crying. He says, this is going to be a very thoughtful psychological portrait in a lot of ways, Kurtzman says. We all know that Picard means to the world, what he means to the world, and why he, like so many legendary characters on Star Trek, has endured and what he's represented. He, in some ways, has to go through a gauntlet to find that again. Things have changed for him and changed him in some ways, and yet he is so deeply and fundamentally still Picard. We're thrilled at what we're going to deliver. I know Patrick is really excited. The cast is coming together beautifully, and I will give you nothing else. Dick, give us more.
Wait, that made you almost cry?
I don't know. The idea of like, yeah. Sorry.
Then next time I see you, I'm just gonna open palm slap you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to get all that weeping out.
Through the podcast.
Does that make you feel like crying? You want to cry? I'll give you something to cry about.
I'll talk about them when we get to what we into, because I didn't really do much of what we into this week, but I watched 2 episodes, and they were back-to-back, and they were both about Picard. And then I read that, and I was like, I'm ready for Patrick Stewart's Picard show. So, yeah.
Well, then I got a couple more things for news, and then we can jump into what we're into for the week.
All right, read another thing of news, because I got a few more.
All right, there's the Xenoblade. I don't know if you ever played that game. It was one of like the 90s RPGs that was definitely on point. The Xenoblade developers are hiring
the first one.
Did you hear about this?
No, but I played the first Xenoblade, I believe. God, they get so confusing. There was Xenogears.
Because there's
that
Xenogears,
was PS1.
and then
Xenoblade
and I believe
PS2.
Blade was PS2, right?
And they made 3 of them, right? 1, 2, and 3.
I think so.
And I believe by the third one, because they had this plan of it spanning this massive, I don't know, time.
It was an epic sort of. It was an epic RPG that had a lot of. I mean, I want to say over like 200 hours when it was all said and done. Something gnarly, like something on the scale of like Skyrim, but pieced out over the course of 3 different generations of hardware.
I'll tell you my memory of Xenoblade real quick before you say the news. Xenoblade was the game that I got for my PS2, and I believe I got it after we graduated from college, but I was still living at home in Indiana before I moved to New York, right? And it was a game.
Wait, didn't you go to Florida first?
Yeah, I went to Florida.
At FST.
Yeah, I went to Florida. I got very depressed. It was awful. It was a terrible, exploitative,
oh my God.
It was so bad.
Like, you remember when I went?
Yes.
Remember when I ended up taking that contract down there, and you were like, "Dude, I think that's the place."
Florida
and
Studio Theater,
and it hadn't changed, bro.
No,
well, I wasn't gonna say their name out loud.
I could
just
still
in case
be there.
Listen,
20 years later, if I hadn't left, man.
It was exactly how you described it in every shape, form, and fashion, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
So
it hasn't changed.
I came back from Florida, and I was still living in my parents' in that room upstairs that you stayed with me after college, right?
Over the garage.
Yeah, over the garage, right?
Room.
So staying there, and I was playing Xenoblade, and it was the game for me that made me realize, okay, this is not going to be good enough for me. I have to do more with my life.
Wow!
I just couldn't.
Wow! It was the game that set you on your path. Huh?
Yes,
wow.
because it had all the things
Jesus.
that I liked in a game, and it was actually pretty good, but it wasn't enough to staunch my depression. I had to get out there and do something else. I remember thinking it so vividly. Wow, if this game can't make me happy, I better figure something out,
dude. I mean on what we into, we're about the feelings. We're about just letting it all hang out. We let you know
so many feelings.
We let you know.
We'll let you know.
But okay. So
Everything
anyway, the developers of that game that changed your life forever are hiring for a new Legend of Zelda project.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the guys that made those games that changed your life, they're hiring for. They haven't. There's not much more information than that. But if with that kind of pedigree, working on one of my most favorite properties in all the canon of video game ship, then I'm gonna keep my nose to the ground for that one.
Yeah, I think Zelda is a lot like any of the Metroid games, like most of the major mainstream Mario games. But it's a game that at some point you're gonna dip your toe into it. You know, you're gonna get your feet a little wet. It may be a couple of years down the road, but it's coming at you at some point. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just waiting for a chance to pick up that most recent one, the one that I didn't get to play yet.
Yes, you're talking. Yeah. Well, I've been trying to. I said you could borrow the Wii U at any point if you want to borrow it.
Yeah.
The kids think they can. You'll blow through it in 2 weeks, man. They'll be fine for 2 weeks.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, it's big, but the way that you crush games, you'll crush it in about 2 weeks for sure.
All right, for sure. And thank you for respecting the crushership of my game ship.
Yes, I do. I know you have. Did you crush anything this week? Did you get any new games?
I actually did. I'm still in the Division. Division is going to be, I think, on the shelf for a little bit. It's big.
Yeah,
it's big, and there's a lot to do. And I don't have, like I said, I don't have the hours right now to crush it like I want to. I'm kind of crushing it in little 3-hour increments at night when everyone's asleep.
Yes.
So it's like that 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. time slot. I'm just crushing it then.
Do they have a big enough house where that's the thing? Because I'm imagining you sleeping on our couch, and it'd be like, I could just hear Laura would roll over. Well, first she would have to pull me to bed because I'd be playing games with you, and then I'd get in bed, and an hour later, we'd probably hear you out there just sweating, and she'd be like, "Rob's still playing, isn't he?" He'll fall asleep any moment now.
Well, so I hadn't been doing it for the last couple of days, but last night I definitely plugged in. And I was going pretty hard into the early AM. And at one point, my buddy's wife gets up to check on one of the kids, and I'm sitting there in darkness in the living room, feet away from where they've been sleeping. And she comes out into the living room, and she sees me, and I see her, and then I freeze like a deer in the headlights, and then she keeps moving. I was like, did I just wake her with my gaming? So then I don't move. I don't move for 30 seconds because she kind of walks off into another part of the house. To answer your question, yes, my buddy. I keep saying my buddy. He's my brother. He's like you, but he's like one of my brothers from Texas.
Louisiana version.
But he owns. Yeah, basically. He owns the duplex. Actually, he just actually put a bid in, and they just accepted a bid for another house. He's bought another property here in Holly Grove, Louisiana, where Lil Wayne's from.
Okay.
Shout out to Holly Grove. And yeah, they just put a bid in. The guy accepted it, so he just acquired another property. But he has this duplex, and then he's rented out the bottom part of it. And I guess that just that rent pays his mortgage, and him and his wife have the top portion of the duplex.
So you're saying I could be a waiter anywhere else in the world and own property?
Yeah, don't even finish that statement because I'm answering you already. Yes.
I just have to. No, I just
Yes.
I'm a masochist, so I need to stab myself with things. So
yeah, that self-flagellation thing, man. I didn't know you was that Catholic, bro. I mean, maybe it's that Indiana. I don't know.
So you're getting some.
That's self-flagellation.
You're getting some free updates April 5th for the Division 2.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. The game is massive. It really is. There's a lot to do. There's and I haven't even scratched the surface of the matchmaking. There's a couple of my buddies who have the game, and I haven't even jumped into playing with them yet because that's really where a lot of these games shine. Anything that Tom Clancy has done in the last few years, it really is much better when you're doing it with other people.
Right.
Doing it against a computer is fine, and the games are usually a lot of fun. But where those games really shine is if you can get a squad of motherfuckers to do a single objective, because it's there's some gameplay that you have to do with a group of people.
Yes.
So so matchmaking is huge in this, and I just haven't done any of that stuff yet.
I would say that generally, anytime you do it, it's better to do it with another person. Yeah. You're I've moved on. Even if that other person is yourself. Self-love here, baby.
Well then that's just masturbating, bro. And
that's what I mean.
I'm all for the self-love.
Let me ask you something. Did your computer's fan just kick on?
No.
What is that?
I think
what's the white noise?
I think what you're hearing. What you're hearing might be my buddy is he's working on the house, so he's been sanding the pillars out. I helped him knock off a portion of his banister the other day, and we were at Home Depot and
white noise makes me
picked up a bunch of. How's that? Is it better?
Yeah, better. Because you know what happened? Right before you clicked onto this recording, the fan on my computer went on, and I realized, oh shit. Because it's weird. If you listen back a few episodes ago, there was all this white noise. There was also the episodes where you were in the cave basically, and everything was echoey. But then we had episodes where there was this weird white noise, and I was like, "Is there a fan on?" And you said you had turned them all off. But then I was thinking, well, maybe it was the fan in your computer, which could create the same exact thing. Anyways,
no, I don't think it's the fan in my computer because the Chromebook, I don't think it has a fan.
Yeah.
It's mad unibody and mad slim, and if it does have a fan, man, that fan has to be miniature.
Got it.
Well, because I don't. It doesn't make any noise. The thing is silent as death.
Yes. Do you want right now? Let's see what else I got here.
Go ahead.
Do you want Harry Potter, which will be the 10 rules Hogwarts professors should have followed, or do you want a 10-minute breakdown of the most awesome video I've seen in a long time called Armed Robber Meets His Match with Dudes on Spring Break? You're going to get them both. Which one do you want first? Jesus.
You know what? Dealer's choice. You pick.
Tell that guy to pick up that trunk he just dropped.
This is my brother Ned, man. This is my brother from another. Ned, say what's up. You're on the podcast. Ned. Actually, let me get him up to speed with the earpiece.
Yeah.
Nedrick, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, how you doing,
Can you
Ned?
hear him? You heard him, right?
Yeah, I can hear him. Yeah, he's
he
on.
Can't hear you. I have to. So Ned, he was just popping shit about the sound that was going off in there.
The sanding, the trunk dropping.
Well, no, he came in and knocked the PlayStation down.
Well, you don't have it set up vertical, do you?
I did have it set up vertical.
It's not built for that.
It actually is built for that.
Yeah, but he also had it set up vertical on the corner of the table, right by the entrance and exit.
Not surprising, Ed. Not surprising.
It was not my. It was never my intention to have you two gang up on me like this, you bastards.
It's strange how that always happens. Unless we're with my wife, and then you guys gang up on me, which is a weirdly comforting feeling.
Hey, shut up a second. Hey, shut up a second. I'm gonna go off headset for a sec.
That's exactly what you say. It's just like, shut up for a second, Larry. And she's like, shut up.
You bastard.
Yes.
So he can hear you and I can hear you.
Yeah, but you're gonna get mad echo now. You can't do that.
Oh, right. We figured this out earlier.
All right, well,
be sure to edit this out.
I'm gonna have to go get.
He's got shit to do, man. He's got like.
All right.
He's got like Sandy. He's got like some like.
Well, he's got to go pick up his son here, like lockstep. That's what he's got to go do.
He's got like a flying buttress to make, and like
a flying buttress. You don't even know what that means.
I remember. It's the only thing I remember about learning about all those churches when I went to that study abroad program. Flying buttresses.
Yo, Harlax, that's what's up. I never went.
All right, we're back.
Things. Yes, we are back.
So, armed robber meets his match with dudes on spring break. Right? So, I found this video last night on my train ride home, which was a 30-minute train ride. It's a minute and 40 seconds of a video, right? And basically, I watched the entire video about 10 times in a row.
Okay.
It's just phenomenal. So let me set the scene. This is in Florida at a gas station, right? You get one camera, and it's a shot of like a blue kind of a station wagon. Looks like a Volkswagen, I think. And there's three dudes, and they're pumping gas, and they're leaning up against this car. You've got the white dude who's wearing like a red and black kind of plaid shirt. You've got kind of like a mixed race looking dude who's got a mini afro, right? We'll call him Afro. And then you got a dude with a backward hat, right?
Well, your vocals are going in and out. I can't. It's like brown. Like, yeah, all I heard was a guy with a meow and a bow and a bow.
Three guys leaning up against a Volkswagen. White dude in a plaid shirt.
White guy.
Mixed race dude
Afro
with an
guy.
afro, and guy with a backwards hat, right? The only other car is this black sedan, right? And you can't see anything. And these dudes are just chatting. They're having a good time. They're pumping gas, right? So now I'm playing the video. It switches perspective, and you see from the black sedan this guy get out of the car, and he's wearing kind of like a T-shirt around his face, so it kind of looks like a do-rag, right? He's got a gun in his right hand. The first person who notices is the white dude in the plaid shirt. His hands immediately go up. The two other guys haven't even noticed yet. This guy calls out. There's no audio to this, so you kind of have to try to figure out what they're seeing, right? So he runs up on these guys. He kind of has them pinned between the car, the gas pump, and he points the gun at him. And he's presumably saying, "Give me your money or give me whatever you got," right? You still there?
The guy ran up on him.
Yeah.
He's saying something to the effect of, "Give me your money, give me your money."
Right, you got it. So white dude's hands are up, right? Afro dude is like trying to like assess the situation, like what's going on. Guy with the backwards hat, you can't really see. You don't know what he's doing. So the white dude, then the camera kind of pulls in for a second, and the white dude basically kind of like tries to squeeze by this guy, right, with the gun. The guy kind of grabs him and pushes him back into the Afro dude, right? Afro dude, that's like his cue. He kind of like flips. He starts to like charge, basically grabs the gun from the gunman and starts to charge the gunman, right? The gunman kind of like rolls him over and flips him to the ground. That's like backward hat guy's cue. He starts rushing the gunman and gets him in this kind of like pseudo headlock from behind, right? Afro dude gets up, grabs the gun again, so he's got one hand on the gun, gets his other arm around the guy as well. Then out of nowhere, from the back of the station wagon, this other guy who basically looks like a twin of the backward hat guy, but he's not. He's wearing like a peach-colored shirt, so we'll call him Peach Guy. He jumps out of the car from the back seat and starts rolling up on this kind of like trio of guys. Meanwhile, the white guy just basically has his hands up like he doesn't know what to do. Like he's just kind of just standing there, right? So Peach Guy comes up, and for a moment, the gun is like pointed right at him, right? He's like, what's going on? What's going on? The armed gunman basically collapses, pulls the backward hat guy down through the headlock and slams him on the ground, right? Little Afro guy starts hitting the back of the armed robber, right? Peach Guy he's trying to like rustle around trying to get the gun from the armed robber. Meanwhile, from the black sedan, this other guy jumps out who's not wearing a shirt. We'll call him Shirtless Guy. He runs up through the parking lot, past the white guy in the plaid shirt, who's still just sort of casually standing there, obviously scared, but like doesn't know what to do, but so isn't doing anything. The shirt guy plows into the Afro guy, pushes him off the armed robber. So now there's two guys on the armed robber. There's backward hat guy, whose hat is now on the ground. There's the guy in the peach shirt, right? They're both trying to wrestle the gun away. Shirtless guy is trying to also get the gun. They're all on the ground kind of wrestling around. Afro guy jumps to his feet and starts kind of circling around, still not quite knowing what to do. Backwards hat guy eventually gets the gun. The shirtless guy is now trying to pull the gun out of his hands, okay?
Boy, if at least two of these motherfuckers don't die at the end of this story, I'm done with you.
Just wait. It's not that good. This is not...
Two of them gotta die.
This is not no one dies in this, okay?
Or at least mortally wounded.
Just no one dies, no one gets shot, right?
Jesus Christ.
So now the shirtless guy is trying to pull the gun out of the hands of basically the backward hat guy. Backward hat guy is on his back, so he's like trying to kick the shirtless guy. He drops the gun. Armed robber is trying to get the gun now back. Peach guy jumps up off the armed robber because he's now got the gun. He somehow pulls the gun out of his hand, and so now the tables have completely turned. The shirtless guy is now running after the backwards hat guy, trying to initiate a fight. As you do, they're kind of like circling one another. Armed robber guy is basically, he realizes he doesn't have the gun, but he's still kind of like standing there, right? That's the moment when the peach guy realizes, oh man, I've got the gun, I've got the power. So he runs past the armed robber guy, goes after the shirtless guy who's now threatening his buddy. Both the two armed robbers now are going back towards their sedan. And no one's actually pointed a gun except for the armed robber at this point. Peach guy is kind of holding the gun to the side, and they're kind of like, okay. You can't see what they're saying, but they're yelling at these guys, saying something. But these guys realize, fuck, we can't leave. This guy just stole our gun. We were trying to rob these four dudes. So he starts kind of approaching the guy with the gun, the peach guy with the gun. Peach guy finally realizes, he points the gun at the armed robber, and that's when the armed robber puts his hands up. And for the first moment in the whole video, you realize, oh shit, that gun's loaded. Because if the guy who had the gun is scared of it, because it's so sloppy, they're like rolling around on top of each other. So you think, well, maybe the gun's not real, or maybe it won't go off. But as soon as it gets pointed at the armed robber, and that guy flips out, you realize, oh shit, that gun was real the whole time. So the guy gets back into his car, and basically that's the first time when Afro guy pulls out his phone and calls the cops. The two armed robbers drive off. And so I watched the video over and over, right? Because it's just a mess. Uh-huh. It's kind of funny, but there's something endearing about it. It's like you and your buddies, basically, like, and this guy rolls up on you, and even though it's not clean or pretty, you guys are able to basically diffuse this situation. And meanwhile, you've got this, like, white guy who's also your buddy who does absolutely nothing. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people in this video, you can watch it from each kind of angle by just watching that one person for 2 minutes and seeing what they do. And let me just tell you, the white guy does nothing. Nothing the entire video.
So what you're saying is, if some shit pops off, don't bring your ass with me.
Yeah. This was in Florida.
Easy.
And it turns out all of the victims...
Of course it was.
The guys who got basically the gun pulled on them, they're all cousins.
Of course they are.
And they were on spring break.
Only in Florida. Jesus. And then that's what happens when you don't got no seasons, man.
And then
that's what happens when you don't got no seasons.
There's plenty of wonderful comments, and then there's plenty of racist comments. I'll skip the racist comments, but one of them says, "Guy in the red plaid shirt, which is the white guy, is worthless and should just kill himself now. That dude is going to be shamed for the rest of his life, and rightly so."
I like where this person's head is at.
And Super Cocky says, "What are you talking about? He was waiting for the opportunity to unleash the beast once the others were tired."
Oh my god.
Then this other guy says, "When four guys fight like that, and when 4 guys like that manage to fight you off, maybe that's a sign that from God that robbery isn't your thing."
Well, I mean, to his credit, he didn't put a cap into either one of them when they made that first move. If the gun was loaded and they like. The guy who tried to run past him, he'd have got one in the kneecap if it had been me holding the gun on him. Blah! I said, don't move, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
What I tell you? You think it's a game?
I guess the robbers are like,
run it.
They didn't want to shoot anybody because it's clearly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's clearly loaded because when it gets pointed at him, he flips out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, I'll put the video.
Credit
I'll put the video link
credit to Do Not
in
Kill
this,
Them.
and you should watch it. And anybody who's listening should watch it because it's a masterful piece of like just chaos.
Oh, okay. So your next bit, the Harry, is it as long as this last bit?
No, and it involves you more.
Okay.
Sorry that I was just kind of explaining it to you. I know that's not interesting.
No, I don't know. I don't mind. I would just
better at this.
I don't mind at all. I'm just like, I have a couple more bit of news, and you could have told that story to the cows come home. But I was like, are we actually gonna give?
It was very much what I was into last night at 11:30, coming home on the subway train.
That's not the section we in yet. We still in news, dog.
Oh, good point. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. I screwed it. I'll edit that out. I'll put it after the news. All right, what do you got?
That shit in post.
What are the news you got?
All right. Well, I got there's a new Critters movie coming. I don't know if you remember those Critters movies from the 80s?
No, but you know what?
I
just realized another what we into was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I put it on for my kids on Sunday, and we watched a good chunk of it. And the movie that Raphael walks out of, this is the first one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is Critters. And he says, where do they come up with this stuff?
Right. Well, they made 4 of those. If you didn't see any of them, you should. They were awesome. But they're making a new one.
Okay.
And I look forward to it. It's just Google new Critter movie. It's fun.
New Critter movie.
And the last bit of news I have are the April PSN network freebies that you're getting this
beat me
in
to
April.
it. I had that on my list too.
Aha!
The spoon.
So the one of them is the Surge,
yes,
which is kind of, I guess it's kind of like a Dark Souls-esque game with the. Let me just pull it up here so I don't have to.
Can I just
finagle it?
Yeah, and while you're doing that, let me just say that the Critters.
It's a science.
The Critters is not a movie; it's a TV series. Critters: The New Binge.
Oh, I missed that part.
There you go. Okay.
Well, thanks
that's
for
what I'm
cleaning
here.
that
I'm here
up.
to fact check everything because we are factually accurate on every episode.
Every
episode, all the time, every time, every day.
So it's The Surge is a science fiction RPG heavily inspired by the Dark Souls series, and it takes place in a grim dystopian future where the world has been ravaged by war and environmental diseases. Robots and clones make a majority of the workforce, kind of, I guess, in the vein of like that Matrix stuff. Mm-hmm. So the humans who are left must fight to survive while wearing exoskeleton implants intended to boost speed and strength.
Yes.
It got a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so this is going to be a free game on PlayStation Plus.
That's a free game.
You already paid the $40
if you're a
a
member.
year. Yeah, which is actually totally worth it. If you just had the
it totally
PlayStation
is. I agree.
Plus, you could entertain yourself.
You could for quite a bit. Like last month's games were really great. The month before that were also really great. Like occasionally they'll give you some really great games, and regardless, it's 2 free games that you can put in your library. You don't even have to ever play them.
Yeah, I believe it got about, I think, an 8 on Game Informer. I'll look it up here real quick.
Okay.
It's supposed to be okay.
And then
it's supposed to be like...
It's okay. Like, it's... Yeah. I saw gameplay footage of it when it came out, and I was just like, It looked a little like... It looked a little last gen, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it definitely had the good bones. You could see... If it was cheaper and free is the cheapest you can get...
Right.
It'd be worth a playthrough.
They gave it a 7. It says The Surge's
7 out of 10.
promising science fiction setting is undone by repetition in the world and enemies.
Right.
I'll check it out. Check it out. Go. What's your?
And the other one you get is Conan Exiles.
Right.
It's an open world survival game set in the universe of Conan the Barbarian, which sounds cool. But I actually looked up gameplay for this when it first came out. Yeah. It looks like a dumpster fire. But you play as a. Except.
Yep. You get full on Wang, right? Don't you get full Wang in this game?
I don't know. I don't base my gaming ship on the Wang count, but
I'm pretty sure in Conan Exiles you get full Wang.
Okay, well that's something to explore. You get it. It got a 3 out of 10.
Oh no!
And you're getting it for free.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah. So a little description of it: you play as a customizable character, not actually Conan, who has been rescued by Conan and must now explore the harsh world known as the Exiled Lands. So it's like, it's kind of, I guess, in that World of Warcraft, you got to gather items, craft stuff, build a shelter, in a role that's Quest for Survival.
All right. It says here that Conan Exile developers agree to remove penis size slider if Microsoft will stop screaming and hitting them with broom. I think there was
That's an Onion article.
No, I think
That's
an
an Onion article.
I think there was a mod for this game that made it so you could adjust the size of the wang. You know how
I love
you
that
can
we're
build your
just
character?
calling it the Wang.
Does size
The
really
wang.
matter? I'm looking at all the fun articles for this. Well,
Ridiculous.
I probably won't play that one then if it only got a 3. I don't know. You
3,
know?
yeah. I saw gameplay footage of it. It looked bad. It looked bad from top to bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, you have an endowment slider is what it's called. Big dong, little
That's
dong.
so ridiculous. Yeah. What if that was the thing you could have in real life? A dong slider.
Oh, I would have the smallest penis possible. For sure. I'd have a tiny little penis because whenever I would be about to have sex, then I would adjust it to whatever size. I'd just hand the adjustment to the woman. Or whoever I'm doing it, or my wife at that time. I'm like, "What? Go with what
like,
you want." And then she'd pick
the
the biggest
the worst
one.
choose your own adventure ever.
Yeah, she'd pick the biggest one, and I'd be like, "Really? Again?" She'd be like, "What?" What? Of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We joke about it, but I mean, we might not be far enough. We might not be far from it in the future right now. I mean, we are in the Star Trek age.
It's true.
And penis is where we always tend to start.
Yeah.
We're always like, well, does it make our dicks bigger? Well, then we don't want it.
Then it's not good enough for us.
Send it back.
Everybody wants bigger dicks. Who doesn't want bigger dicks?
Me.
Yeah, right.
No, thank you.
I mean, seriously, women want bigger dicks. Men are glad to have bigger dicks. Like, I feel like there'd be more scientific research going into bigger dicks.
I think there's far too much already. Entirely too much research.
It's
done
like a cure for cancer. Everybody wants it. There's nobody who's like, nah, we don't need a cure for cancer. Everybody wants a cure for cancer.
That everybody wants a cure for cancer. Nobody's out there being like, yo, I want a bigger dick.
Yep. Well, should we jump into what we into?
Yes, we should.
Let's jump into what we into.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Oh, did you listen to my sound cue? I shouldn't chew gum during this, sorry. But
no,
did
you totally
did you listen
shouldn't.
to that sound cue I made for what we into? I'm quite proud of it.
I did listen to it. I was a bit impressed.
Nice, thank you.
I was like, that boy
And
is
then-
working his YouTube university.
I just like how at the end of
degree.
it, you just lackadaisically, you're just like, what we into? what we into, guys?
Well, I can't carry us every week, Larry.
Don't worry, I told you this week. You get the piano bench, I'll carry the piano. What we into
this week? All right, one of the first things I was into this week is Detox Plus.
Ooh.
It's like this herbal detox that Ned's wife put me onto this week. It comes from the store bulkherbstore.com, and she says she swears by it. She says when she drinks it, when she puts it into her like nutritional regimen, it does wonders for just her feeling of well-being.
What's
She's
it
like,
called?
If I Detox Plus.
Nobody likes feeling
And it comes in
bloated,
like,
which is why our Detox
and it comes
Plus
in like
complete...
a pound bag.
We are now sponsored by Detox Plus. Detox Plus.
I hope.
If you want to detox
I hope. That'd
in
be
a
awesome.
plus size way, detox with Detox Plus.
I hope.
Okay. So is a supplement.
So yeah, I
hold on.
into it.
It's a supplement to ease the symptoms of bloating and restore regular bowel movements. Who's talking about pooping now, huh?
Hey, I never said anything about pooping. I was just saying about the cultural gut maintenance. That's what I was on. But you see how I did it? I did it with herbs. I didn't have to just. It was less in your face. It was more overt.
Yes. This says it works over 30 days in two 15-day stages. And nobody's going to believe that this isn't an ad now, by the way.
It's not an ad. It was just what I was into this week.
Detox Plus. Detox.
You can get it on Detox Plus.
Detox.
BulkHerbStore.com.
So are you officially on the 30 days in two 15-day stages, or are you just slamming it?
I haven't actually had any yet. It just something I was researching because I was into it this week.
Yeah. There's only pictures of women, by the way, on this official website for them.
I see.
Yeah.
I should maybe ask Ned, does he detox plus?
He's like, no, man, that gives you boobs.
He's like, no. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, dude, and that lets you on like an hourglass figure.
When using a cold and cleanse supplement, do I need to follow a special diet? We recommend following a healthy eating regime. Well, I know you're not eating healthy. What are you eating? Eggs and grits.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how healthy eggs and grits are.
So this is what. Yeah. I was gonna say this.
I think I've been doing pretty well.
When you come back
for being on the road,
we'll tell Laurel, my wife, all about how you've been eating so well.
Detox Plus.
Because Ned's wife has been cooking for you, and we'll get Laurel to cook for you.
Oh, are you trying to get Laurel to cook for me?
I just know that if you mention it, she'll be like, fuck that. I'm gonna make something for him that he's gonna remember now. What else are you into, buddy?
That's what's up. I don't know if you should check out The Dirt.
The Dirt?
The Motley Crue.
Oh,
The Motley Crue movie.
Mm-hmm.
It could have happened to anybody, but it didn't. It happened to us. The new band is going to be something nobody's ever seen before.
Oh my God, those are my pants.
But it looks so much better on me.
We got a runaway, a kid drummer, an old man.
Let's just play it.
A cover band singer.
They say you're gonna be a rock star.
What do you think?
Holy shit.
So one of the guys I was in the show with plays the dad in that. He's actually the dad in Stranger Things as well.
Oh. Which dad?
The guy named... I don't remember.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. The dad who... Yes, he's based... Yeah. There's a few dads, but I know I know which one, because I have dad skills. And when you're a dad, you know which dads are dads. And this dad in Stranger Things is...
His name is Joe Crest.
Yeah.
And he plays Tommy Lee's dad in the Motley Crue movie. It's a good picture.
Oh wow! I got to go.
It's a really, really good picture.
I got to go to the second page of IMDb cast to find him. Joe Cruz. Joe
Crest.
Crest. Oh, maybe that's
Crest.
Crest. No, I think you're lying. He's not on here.
Okay.
No, I don't see any Joe Crest here. Joe Crest. No. I do see Machine Gun Kelly, who had some beef with Eminem. He plays Tommy Lee.
He wasn't in.
What?
That's not Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah. Unless IMDb is lying, which, as we know from all their typos, that's a possibility.
Is it?
Oh, Joe Crest plays David. Here we go. Yes, I found him.
Reading is fundamental, Lawrence.
Yeah. He's also in 21 Jump Street, Deepwater Horizon, and Assassination Nation. Amongst a lot. This dude works. You were going to play with this guy?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Airline Highway with him.
He was Ant-Man. He was Frank in Ant-Man, whoever that was.
Really?
Now I got to watch that movie again. He was in Old Boy, which I guess is the Spike Lee remake. Also starring Rami Malek. He was in G.I. Joe Retaliation as Chief of Staff. He was, let's see, what else? Joe Crest. He was in Battleship, also with Rami Malek was also in Battleship for like 2 seconds.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
I do.
Weird.
I actually liked that movie. It wasn't bad.
They probably work for the same agency, because like a lot of these casting agencies, they work on packages. So basically, whoever the guy was that starred in Battlefield, they'll cast him, but then they'll also have to take 5 other actors that are from the same like agency, Gersh or United Artists or whatever it is. You know? Did you know? You know that casting places do that? Somebody was.
I do not know that because I don't have an agent.
Yeah. Basically, my friend Xena told me that, which I thought was kind of shitty. So you're going out for a part, you're going out to audition, and you don't even get it because you're not part of the package. You know what I mean?
Yeah, package.
Oh, he was in Out of Sight. He plays Andy in Out of Sight, and Out of Sight is an awesome movie.
Is that the one with Jennifer Lopez and
George
Clooney?
Yeah. Cool, man. How do we start talking
about
this?
Yeah, he's a good dude. Well, I was telling you about The Dirt, the movie that he's in.
Right.
And how you should watch it. It's really good.
I wanted to watch it, and I actually had it on, and the preview was playing. And what happens when you're married is Netflix comes on, and the preview starts playing, and you find yourself getting into the preview, and then you turn excitedly to your wife. You're like, that looks really good. And she's like...
And she shuts it down.
She shuts it down.
She's like, we ain't watching that bullshit.
Nope.
Turn it off.
And then she
turn it off right now.
She put on, I think, episodes of the new American Horror Story, The Cult, which I don't think it's a bad show, but for whatever reason, I can't really get into it. So it always sort of plays in the background.
I've never been able to get into them.
Yeah.
I've never been able to get even since the first ones. I tried. I'm just like meh.
Yeah. You know what else is apparently meh? Dumbo. The new Dumbo movie is supposed to be very meh.
Is that what you were into this week?
No. I was into Us, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. But the only other thing I was into was the OA, the second season of the OA.
Nothing happened the way I imagined.
Let me in, Miss Ozarova.
I live here?
We traveled into another dimension. Into other versions of ourselves. Do you understand what we're on the edge of here? It's godlike, Prairie.
You actually started it. All right.
Yeah,
and?
I'm about 5 episodes in. It's so fucking good. I'll curse.
Really?
I'll curse about how fucking good it is. It is so good.
Really?
Yes. I can understand.
Okay.
Listen, I can completely understand if you watch the first season of OA and you're like, it's not for me. I get it. Like, if that's not your thing.
Here's the thing with the first season of OA. It was really interesting and kind of cool up until they did what was necessary, and then I was like, wait, what? She needed them to all do this dance move so that she could get back to her own dimension? Get the fuck out of here.
You didn't like that? See, I think,
I did not like that. I was like, that's the corniest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, and what's the weird thing is, to me, that's awesome. Like, I get that it rides that line of corny, but it can either...
But you were like, yay!
Yeah, because it can either dip down to too corny to enjoy and just dumb, or dip up to magical. And for me, it dips up, but for you, it goes down to corny. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I 100% understand. But I am obsessed with it. And it made me realize when I was watching this second season that I meant to go back and watch the first season again. And just didn't do it.
And you just didn't.
But it's so good. I don't know what it is about Britt Marling, man. I'm on the stalker side of things with Britt Marling. a bit on the stalker zone.
Laurel doesn't listen to this podcast, does she?
No. And Laurel also does not really like the OA, so it's just me and Britt's thing. Me and Britt, baby.
He said me and Britt's thing.
I don't know what's up with her and this co-creator, Zal Batmanjelig. But you know
my
what?
God.
He can just exit the scene, because this is me and Britt's thing.
Okay.
I want a whole section of this podcast that's just dedicated to me and things I imagine Britt Marling into. It's called Me and Britt's Thing. What's up, Britt? How you doing? I know you're out there. I know you're listening, Britt. Listen, not to be creepy or anything, Britt, but it's not even a sex thing. It's just a spiritual thing.
Famous last words. When you start a sentence when it's not even a sex thing, I think
it's not. It's a spirituality thing. She gets my spirit. The OA understands my soul.
Okay, the OA understands your soul, bro. All right,
I don't know. It's a show that
in that vein.
It's a show that I wish I had written. You know what I mean? Like I desperately wish I had the skills to have thought of, had the courage and bravery to write this style of show with this kind of magic. You know?
Okay. Okay, well, that is high praise. I will attempt to go back to watching. I'll pop on that first episode of season 2 and see if I can make my way through it.
Sure, you will. As soon as you're done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Game of Thrones as well. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
But I was into I got to a couple things that you'd be surprised this week that I was into.
Okay.
I got into The Meg with Jason.
I saw that with the kids.
And not for nothing, it wasn't bad, man. It's not bad.
It's not great, but it's okay.
It's not great, but there were moments in it where I found myself actually being like, oh shit, that's gnarly.
Oh no,
that's gnarly.
Is he gonna grow some hair? No, he's not.
I was like, oh no. I was like, don't eat the Pomeranian.
Exactly.
Leave the Pomeranian alone.
Exactly what I was gonna say. They're not gonna eat that dog, are they?
He's not gonna eat that dog. That's a morsel. It wouldn't even be worth it.
Fuck all the other Koreans. They better not eat that. It's Korean, right?
I think.
I think it's Korean.
I think so.
Yeah, that's on HBO Go right now. If you have HBO Go and you want to check. What else?
And I saw Creed 2.
Oh yeah, Creed 2. Finally, let's go back to Creed 2 here.
I was afraid I couldn't live up to these expectations.
I got loyalty inside my DNA.
You don't think you got your validation?
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got war peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
I want to rewrite history.
I feel like I did not miss anything. I saw it with Ned and Lena, and we sat there and we were basically predicting it as it went on. And but they actually did. There was a moment that we all kind of were in, and it was during that last fight. Mm-hmm. They kind of been teasing the orchestration, the instrumental for that classic dun 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 line.
Yeah.
And then when it finally happened after he knocks the kid down, like we all had a visceral reaction to that. We were like, okay, yeah, that was it. That was cool. But
was it the Twitch, the movie watching Twitch when you're sitting on a couch and something happens and you like your whole body just kind of like twitches for a second? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, because that sounds like a stroke.
That's probably what it was.
That or an aneurysm, either one. It doesn't sound good, but no, like I was sitting next to Ned, and he was like, "Yo, that gave me goosebumps. I physically have goosebumps now." And I found my breathing.
Yeah,
I found my breathing kind of rose in the moment too. I was like, "Yeah, that Joe Morton, that Joe Morton Terminator 2 death."
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh my god, you just read my mind. You literally read my mind. Thank you. I was gonna say Miles Dyson. You got the actor's name in there, man.
The Joe Morton, baby. What you talking about?
Damn. Let's just end this. Episode's done. Boom. Mic drop.
Literally mic drop. I mean, just throw the mic on the ground and let's go get some lunch.
But okay.
All right. I'm just gonna wrap up the last things I was into.
But just to go to the end of Creed 2. So there was a scene where like they cut out, where Rocky and Drago almost get into a fight in like a hotel lobby, and they have to basically pull each other off. And then there was another scene that they cut at the end where I think Drago and his son are in the locker room after the fight. And to me, that was the most powerful moment when Drago realizes his son, he can't keep his son doing this because his son could die, and he calls the fight. I thought that was really really powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I could have used a little more about, like, it didn't have to be all Michael B.
Honestly,
Jordan. I could have gone a little more on the side of the Ukrainians. And
right.
Yeah.
Me too. I definitely would have. It seemed. I felt like the movie was okay. It just felt, a lot of it felt emotionally manipulative.
Yeah.
And I think if they'd done exactly what you were just saying there, like focused a little bit more on both aspects of both these fighters and what they were going through, because while I was sitting there watching it with Lena, the version that we got didn't have the Russian subtitle. Like, so we didn't.
Oh, right.
We couldn't read, like, we didn't understand any of the Russian conversations. But like just from the intonation and sort of the body language, Lena kept commenting on the fact that she's like, "Yo, I think his dad is emotionally manipulating him into maybe he doesn't even want to be a fighter like that."
Yeah,
and it was interesting. It was interesting to hear her respond in that way, and it made me start thinking about it. Like, yeah, what does he want to be a fighter? Why is he doing this? It just seemed like a missed opportunity to make the movie a little bit more well-rounded and less emotionally manipulative.
Yeah. So Dolph Lundgren, he talks about the end scene that was cut, and he says, at the end, after the fight, Adonis and Rocky are walking back, and they see Ivan taking the wraps off his son's hands and kind of comforting him. He's feeling bad for losing. I leave the room, and Adonis walks in and talks to my son. I come back in, and we have a moment, me and Adonis, and then I have a moment with Rocky after that. That was taken off. Maybe it was too much, or maybe it was too emotional or too soft. Maybe redemption comes next time around. I felt like the movie could have really used that last moment. Because...
Me too.
Because we don't need Ivan Drago and Rocky to hate each other, and we definitely don't need Adonis and Drago's son to hate each other. You know? These guys are sportsmen. They're warriors who respect one another. And I'm surprised that they cut that.
I know how it feels. It may not seem like it now, but you gotta know you're more than just one fight. We both are.
So
yeah, what else?
Just rounding out the week, I went back to Star Trek Discovery. It didn't get very far. Just the next episode, where they finally introduced Spock, and he's all cray.
Right. What do you think about this Spock?
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You like this Spock?
Honestly, I'm not sure yet. I think I need to see more. Like right now, he's still in like I'm cray, so he hasn't come out of it yet. I don't know. I think visually, I was kind of unimpressed.
Right.
I was like, oh, it's Spock with a beard.
Right.
Whoop. But it's early still. I think I need a few more episodes of seeing what they're going to do with him as the actor, directing wise, and sort of him as the character of Spock. So
right.
I'm going to reserve criticisms for now. And but
he grew on me.
But I'm still in this vein of like, man, the technology is just too advanced for this being so many years prior to the this whole Red Angel thing, for instance. Section was it 9? Section 39 or 31? Like it's a little too advanced, man, and I'm having a hard time suspending that disbelief the longer it goes on.
Right.
But hey, whatever. It's fun in the Star Trek, so I'll keep going. Brooklyn Nine-Nine rounds out my list of what I was into this week. It's still funny.
Never watched the show.
It's really funny. Like they got a really good cast, and I didn't like Andy Samberg until this show.
Oh really? You didn't like him?
I found
on
him
SNL?
sort of No, I found him generally like annoying and kind of like goofy and dumb. But I think he has a lot of responsibility on the show. I think he produces and I think he writes some of it. And it's one of the few shows I can say like I watch and it's about cops,
right?
And I don't see this. I don't see that cop stigma. I don't see them as cops. I'm like, oh, these are just really weird and funny people. It does a lot to make. Yeah, it does a lot to make me believe that in real life, but I don't because America and the news.
The news, exactly.
And life.
If only every cop could be Andy Samberg.
Or Terry Crews.
Or Terry Crews. Yeah, Terry Crews he's having his moment lately. This last couple
of
years.
He's been killing it. He's been killing it.
Yeah.
So
he's awesome.
Yeah, that was what I was into this week, my dude.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it reminded me the other thing that I watched, which I completely didn't write down, was Barry with Bill Hader.
Oh yeah, with I like the show.
Yeah.
I've only seen a couple episodes, but I like it.
Season 2 comes out in just a couple days, but we didn't even realize that.
Oh,
Laura
wow.
had been trying to get me to watch it, and you've seen it. All you really have to do is start one episode, and then you realize, okay, you're sucked in. You know,
this is pretty good. I mean, the premise is completely amazing.
Yeah.
Like a hitman goes to an acting class and then stays.
Yeah, well, and I think anchored because Bill Hader is so dramatically good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that now.
You don't expect him to be. You expect it to be a Bill Hader kind of like show his ass, chew some scenery kind of thing, but there's some like really deep, dark, sardonic moments in it that make you go, "Huh, Bill."
It makes me look at Bill Hader entirely different, you know.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Stephen Root's really good. He plays Fuchs.
Right.
Who else?
I mean, it's
Henry
it's a good
Winkler's
show.
awesome.
HBO, right?
Yeah, HBO. Yeah.
Yeah. So check it out if you haven't. It's worth the look see.
Yeah. I watched 2 episodes briefly about Star Trek, about Captain Picard, which I thought was interesting. This is Star Trek: The Next Generation. I watched Sins of the Father. Okay, I'll read the little synopsis here, and you can remember it. It's a good one. You'll remember it. But a Klingon commander comes aboard the Enterprise in an officer exchange program initiated by Starfleet, much to the chagrin of the crew. And that Klingon turns out to be...
It's not Worf's son from the future, is it?
Worf's not son, but Worf's
brother?
Yeah, younger brother.
It's not the guy who plays the Candyman, is it? That actor?
Oh, I think it is. I actually didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
that's where I recognize
if
that
it's
guy.
the episode that I think it is.
Yeah.
That's it's Candyman.
Yes, you're right. Yes, hold on.
Right. Yeah, okay, I do remember the episode.
Yeah. Let's see. And he has to go back to his planet and
Right. Yes, Sins of the Father. Right. The sons of Moog have to show up and like clear their dad's name, and then they find out that their dad actually wasn't the traitor. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But Worf has to own the lie because
it's good for Klingon.
It props up the Klingon.
What's the Klingon planet?
Yeah, I remember the episode. Kronos.
Yeah, so it's good for Kronos. If he comes out and gives up the lie, you know, it's really bad.
It'll shatter the Empire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's actually
I remember the episode.
And so his Picard has to come down and be his Kaddish or whatever he's called.
Yeah, his basically like his attorney.
Yes, his attorney. Yeah, or his person
advocate.
His advocate. There you go. And there's a fight scene. Picard fights a little against 2 Klingon guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Then the second episode that came right after that. Oh God, hold on one second. I forgot what it's called.
God, I can't believe I remembered that.
I know. I just want to see how good your memory is. I just watched it 2 days ago and having trouble remember it. Allegiance. This one is Picard is kidnapped and held with 3 different aliens, and meanwhile replaced with a replica as imposter captain. So this is the one where like.
I think I remember this one.
Everybody
knows.
He's
like locked in a prison.
Yeah, everybody knows. Yeah, he's locked in a prison by unknown forces. There's other aliens there, and what he comes to find out is one of the other aliens is basically
is the prisoner, the guard, is the guy who's keeping them there.
Right.
I do remember this one, but a little more vaguely.
This one he invites Beverly Crusher back to his quarters and kind of puts the moves on her.
Right, but I mean they've always had a like will they won't they thing.
But this is one of those ones where like your higher superior officer kind of pressures you into like doing something, and it's like not really cool these days. But you know,
yeah, even in the future, yo, bro.
Even in the future, yo. But yes, that was it. I went down the Picard little rabbit hole there for a night.
Well, Star Trek is still good, man. Next Generation is real good.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
But yo,
so
well, that's not it. Let's get into what we were really into this week.
Yes.
You went and saw.
I went and saw
Jordan Peele's Us.
Jordan Peele's Us.
What are you people?
It's us.
They look exactly like us. They think like us. They know where we are. We need to move and keep moving. They won't stop until they kill us. Or we kill them.
I'm going to try and attempt to do, because I liked the movie, and I don't want to spoil it for you. I want you to see it on your own at some point. So,
okay, well, I had some questions that I wrote that I felt I should ask right at the top.
Yes.
And then you can be like, yay, nay, and then we can jump off from there.
Me this time.
All right. Well, Lawrence Arthur, having seen Jordan Peele's visionary film of horror, Us.
Yes.
My first question to you, what was scary about this film?
Okay. It's not a particularly super scary movie. Like, it's a good horror movie.
Right.
It's not.
Now, was it as scary as, and scary in quotations, as Get Out?
It's scarier than Get Out because it's more traditionally rooted in horror movie than I think Get Out is. Get Out is like cerebral and it just has this really straightforward, very strong premise. This premise is more muddied. As you've seen from the previews, basically a family goes to vacation in Santa Cruz.
Can't believe how big they've got.
Did you hear Gabe got a boat?
He's kidding, right?
He's not kidding.
Hey, I think it's vodka o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Jason?
Jason?
Where were you?
I didn't know if you were lost. Stick with me.
They're there in their house. There's some creepy stuff that happens on the beach, but you're not sure what that is. They're sitting there in their house, and all of a sudden they look out their window, and a family that looks just like them is standing in their driveway. And through the rest of the preview, you get that they're hostile, and they're like doppelgangers, right? Other than that, you don't really know. What else do you know, right? They're in these red jumpsuits. There's some scissors involved. There's some gloves.
Well, apparently, and this is something I think I kind of absorbed through just, trying to avoid reading articles, but there's a scene in the preview where there's a little girl looking at herself in the mirror, and then the mirror comes to life and like chokes her, or her image comes to life and starts choking her.
Right.
And I think during that part in the mother Lupita is saying something like, and I forgot, like something happened to her when she was young that she forgot, and now it's this family reappearance. She kind of senses it, or she knows why, or has some connection to this family that she has subsequently forgotten, but it's rooted in a trauma from the mother's past.
Yes.
Am I striking
yeah,
anywhere near the...
that's exactly it,
okay.
And I won't... there's a twist involved with it, but I won't give that away.
Right.
But everything that you just said, you get in the first half an hour. So when they see basically that other family, and you get all of that you just said, that's a half an hour into the movie. The next basically hour and 15 minutes is
you see the effects of that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Right. Did this affect you the way that Get Out affected people? And I'm asking because like Get Out was considered like this. I didn't think it was that horror scary at all. I was just like, this is a little too poignant.
Yes.
But did this have the same? Did this affect you the way that Get Out affected people?
Not exactly. No. I mean, this is. Jordan Peele.
What was the difference? Was it the race, the tone?
This is not really
theme?
about race.
All of it?
Race is involved in this in the same way that if you write down the word America and you look at it, that word is about race. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this movie's about race in the way that the word America is about race, right? But it's not like Get Out is about race. You know?
Okay, that takes me to my next question.
Right.
What do you think about Jordan Peele saying a white guy won't ever star in one of his films?
I think it's awesome. And why would we want Jordan Peele to write a movie starring a white dude? Right? Like, I'm surprised.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
I've noticed that it's picked up.
I'm surprised the question came up. I'm surprised the question came up, and I'm surprised even more that he answered the way he did. Because I think the quote was, "A white guy will never star in one of my films." Not that I don't like white guys,
right?
But I've seen that movie before.
Yeah. Yeah, he's exactly. It really is. He says one of the best, greatest pieces of this story, which is us, is feeling like we are in this time. A renaissance has happened and proved that the myths about representation in the industry are false. And that's 100% true, because when I'm watching Us, I'm not thinking this is a black family at all. And this is not about how look how woke this white guy is, and he doesn't see color. It's not that. That floats away very quickly, because what I'm latching onto very, very strongly is the dad.
Is a family.
In the family, yeah. And the dad is played by Winston Duke, who is the guy from Black Panther.
Who's M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku.
He's M'Baku from Black Panther.
And he is very, very good in this. I was not crazy about him in Black Panther. I think just because maybe I wasn't crazy about his character, but I was all about him. Everything, I kept looking through the movie through his lens, because that's how I was identifying myself through this dad, basically. Even though he's not the star. Lupita is definitely the star of this movie.
Right. Well, it's her trauma that connects these doppelgangers, right?
Yes. That's very astute of you. Wow. I don't think I realized that going into the movie, but that is correct. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, man. I see. I mean, I watch a lot of movies, and you can. A lot of what people have been saying about it was that it wasn't so much revolutionary. Like they were trying to compare him to like Alfred Hitchcock, and then other people jumped on them and been like, stop comparing him to white, counterparts. He's his own thing. But what I got universally is that this was more traditionally a horror film in the tropes that it approached. Like we've all seen we've all seen this film before, but mostly with white people.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's easy to sort of like pick up what. Like minus the twists, which I'm sure he probably was really cool and invent. Well, actually, can you speak on it? Was the twist,
okay,
original, or was it?
Well, I mean,
was it something that you could have been like? Were you as the writer sitting there watching another writer's work? Were you like, that's a good that works. That's a good work.
It works and it doesn't work. So imagine Get Out.
I see.
Remind me how Get Out, basically, they're taking the boyfriend, and they're taking all these black boys, black men, basically, and then they're taking their consciousness out and putting another consciousness into their bodies, correct?
Not taking it out so much as pushing it down where it no longer is the dominant personality.
Okay.
Imagine if like somebody poured my consciousness into your body, but you were stuck in there with me.
Right.
With no autonomy.
Right. Okay. So imagine if when that part in the movie came up, you kept thinking about the actual logistical practicality behind that action, and you couldn't stop.
It forces you to suspend your belief in a way that you just can't.
It just there's two twists in this movie, and both twists basically. And just the general premise behind
the counter to each other.
Yeah, because there's this question of where did these doppelgangers come to? Like, where did they come from? You know what I mean? And I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything.
Copy that.
But I do want to say, in terms to Get Out, I didn't have an issue with him switching bodies. Basically, whatever excuse they gave, I learned it, I heard it, and then moved on with the movie. With this, I didn't imagine if you were watching Get Out and you couldn't move on from that idea. You kept thinking about, wait a minute, that's not possible. How would
that work? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even though you enjoyed Get Out, like maybe, like let's say they were able to, instead of doing it through like the tea hypnosis thing, if somehow they used a microwave, a blender, a toaster, and then like some electricity.
This sounds like the ingredients.
Right.
This sounds like the ingredients in like a half-baked
they use
the MacGyver smoker.
Yes, yeah.
Give me my snorkel.
Yeah.
An avocado roll.
It's a lot like, exactly. It's a lot like if you were watching MacGyver and he made something out of things, and then you realize there's no way that would work. You would still enjoy that episode of MacGyver. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you would still go back to the idea of like that wouldn't actually work in that way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's the only real. That's the biggest issue of the movie for me. Yeah.
Okay. So with all that said and done, burp or fart?
It's a burp. Yeah, it's a definite burp. It's a good movie.
So see it in the theater, or wait for it to.
You can wait. Yeah.
Copy that.
I mean, Get Out. I'm not even sure you needed to see in the theater. I think.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah, neither did I.
I didn't even want to see it. I honestly, I saw it at work. Like they were showing it, they were showing it to some like group of teens or whatever, and I just happened to be working that shift, so I was working like the AV part of that shift, and I got to see this. I got to see it in that way, and I was like, huh, yeah, exactly. And it was exactly what I expected it to be. And I did need to see it in the theater, but I did need to see it.
Yeah. This movie's this movie's good, and it because Us is also about U.S., you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So you can read it on a lot of different levels, but it's also kind of dumb.
I see.
Like my tagline for this episode will be, "Is Us dumb?" Because it's kind of dumb in a good way. In a dumb horror movie way, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's kind of why I was like, when I saw people like touting it as this really like great thing, and I was like, really, it's a horror movie, like with basic tropes. Like, how good could it be? And I feel like because it's Jordan Peele and because he's a black writer director and because this cast is black, like everything about it is black and it's unapologetically so because he's already said that. I feel like more people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, because of exactly what you said. It goes against the idea that black films can't be successful and can't make money in the paradigm of what is Hollywood today.
Right.
So I feel like there's an over need or an over ampness to make this the greatest thing since sliced bread when it's just an okay horror film at the end of the day.
I think that is 100% spot on. Like, you could have made this movie with a white family. It would not have been,
and that's the thing we have.
Yes.
That's why I was able to sort of like piece out the through line or the theme, the action, the central action in it without having seen the film, but just seeing a few of the trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we've seen these. Like, this isn't a new trope. This isn't a new thing. It's just this is the blackest version of it we've seen.
Yes, but he's also a very good director.
I believe
where
that.
this movie mostly falls down is that I think he won the Oscar for Get Out for the screenplay and got to this, and I think took some chances, but where Get Out was sort of had this magical switching or this less than concrete switching of personalities, this kind of goes into a concrete explanation that just makes you sort of ask more questions that you probably shouldn't actually be that concerned with. You know what I mean? About where these doppelgangers came from. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to impart to the listeners about this film that we haven't kind of gone through already in the last?
I think you just said it. I think he's in a great position. He's really playing around with because he is aware of all of what putting a black family center stage like this in this movie does. But it's not necessary. I think he's still top of his game. This movie's not as good as Get Out, but it's still top of his game.
Okay.
I would almost be more interested in seeing him go maybe towards sci-fi a little bit.
Word.
He's
well. I mean, we've got that new Twilight Zone coming that he's going to be helming. That should be a really interesting look into the sci-fi.
Yes. Oh, and that reminds me. So this was based off the sci-fi episode that we talked about a couple podcasts ago. And basically, at the end of that episode, you never really learn where these doppelgangers come from. They're just there. You just get the idea that these two dimensions kind of overlapped for a moment.
Does the movie do that?
No, in the movie, there's a concrete explanation.
I see. Copy that.
And you want it, like when you're watching the movie, you want some explanation. I think it would feel weird if there wasn't one, but I'm not so sure that you want a explanation grounded in a very specific reality versus some sort of like metaphysical reality, if that makes sense.
Right.
You'll get it when you see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Copy that. All right.
But yeah, I'd say go see it if you got nothing else to do. But there's probably others. I would say see Battle Angel Alita first if it's still in the theater.
Yeah,
I can't speak now.
Yeah, it's still in the theater, but it's hard to catch those because there's only like one or two showings a day, and they're usually in the evening.
Yes.
But no, I've actually been looking into. There hasn't been a good rip of it yet. Nobody. It's still pretty cammy.
Yeah.
In the torrent world.
Yeah, very cammy. Well, should we go into our brand new section called "Who's Listening"?
We have a. Yeah, I was just looking for the segue. I was like, should we talk about that new Who's List? Oh, but like it's a new section. I love that. Are we gonna do this every week?
No, because I don't know. Because we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, you can't say something like a brand new section and then it not be a repeatable offense. Maybe this is a one-off.
So basically, what I have is we go through Buzzsprout. And no, we'll do it again. We'll probably do it every 10 episodes is what we'll do. Because the way that this breaks down your stats, you have this whole section. You've got episodes, players, website, iTunes, podcast settings, and you got stats. And your stats gives you the option of one episode, your last episode, last 5 episodes, or last 10 episodes. And then within that, you can look at your devices, how people are listening to your podcasts. You can see how often. So it gives you the number of people listening for each episode, which I'm actually not going to say because it's in the millions, and I don't really want to we have this little like mom and pop thing going on. I don't want to embarrass anybody by how many people are listening to this. But I will say,
flashing folks,
it's probably more than you think, and it surprises me definitely about. Sometimes it's definitely more people than I think.
Wait. Is this you said this is the per episode listen?
This is the last 10 episodes is what we're going to look at.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So 95% of our listeners come from North America, which makes sense.
Okay.
1% of our listeners come from Africa, or are in Africa listening.
Really?
Yep. 2% come from Asia, and 2% come from Europe. Right? Then we got 1 play in South America, and we got 2 plays in Australia. Okay.
Oi, good eye.
Good eye. So, basically, I'm going to go through the cities here. Top city, can you guess it?
Top city. It probably has to be New York?
Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York, yeah.
Yeah.
Second would be New York, which I'm assuming is Manhattan.
Yes.
Long Island City is the third one. And then Indianapolis, Indiana is the fourth one.
Yeah, mom and pops.
Yeah. No, that's not my parents.
That's
lady number one.
Mary.
Yeah.
Mary and her.
Then we got Brownsburg, Indiana.
Brownsburg.
That might,
you got cousins in Brownsburg?
That might be my brother. I'm not sure if that's classified because it goes off your phone number, I think. I'm not sure how they track all these. Then we got Smyrna, Tennessee. We've got Satellite Beach, Florida. These are still in multiple listens. Let's see. West New York, New Jersey. We've got Astoria, New York. So a couple people in Astoria. I don't know who's in Astoria listening, but that's awesome. We got Ankeny, Iowa, which I think is Adam Knight. Bless you. We got Denver, Colorado. Austin, Texas, and we're still in very many listens. These are not accidents. Like these are definite people listening from these places. Katy, Texas, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Those are all around the same listenings. So I feel like whoever that is, that's your crew for sure.
That's probably my family.
We got Newburgh, Indiana, which that could be my brother. It really just depends on where the phone number is. Garland, Texas, Graysonville, Maryland. Concord, California, Dunville, Kentucky, Mountain View, California, Sandy, Utah, Spring, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I mean, that could be in the last couple because I've been here most recently, and a couple people started listening pretty much like from when I told them. So
yeah, Cropsyville, New York. Whoever that is.
Cropsyville.
Seattle, Washington.
Huh.
And then we get our first non-US. We get Jakarta, Raya. We got 5 listens. Somebody from Jakarta, Raya. I'm going to look it up here because I don't have any clue where that is.
I feel like it's Africa.
It sounds like no, but I think it's let's see here. Jakarta.
I mean, my Carmen
It's
San Diego
Indonesia.
is garbage.
Indonesia. Hi, whoever's listening in Jakarta, how's it going? Indonesia.
Good look.
It says it's a massive capital. It sits on the northwest coast of the island of Java. Dope.
Jakarta, yo.
So cool.
Okay, that's what's up.
Let's see what else.
Hey, 16 weeks.
Yeah. Then we got unknown, which is probably somebody like somehow listening or watching on a VPN. You know what I mean? So it's blocking their.
What if it's like an astronaut on the space station? Would that register as an unknown?
Yes, it's an astronaut. That's exactly right. We've got astronauts listening to what we into. I'm just going to go with that. That's what
you heard it.
Yeah.
You heard it. Yeah, you heard it. That makes it real.
Christian Stead Virgin Islands, which is cool. These are. I'm not going to read the ones with only one play because those are interesting, but that could also be like, "Whoops, my finger slipped." You know?
Yeah, that wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Then we got one that's. Let's see here. City Kasem Rabbit Saleh Kinatra. 3 listens, and I got to look. I know. I got to look it up because
did you just have a stroke?
Exactly.
What the fuck was that?
Let's see here. So that is Morocco. Somebody in Morocco has listened to this podcast multiple times. That's so cool.
That is what's up.
Thank you so much.
Hey, shout to all those places that that are hearing our voices and continue to tune back in. That's what's up.
That's awesome. Let me look and see if there's any more super interesting ones here. South Dakota. That's cool. Then we got the Australian one is Victoria Murrumbina. That's Australia. 2 listens there. Somebody listened twice, which is super cool. We got Dublin.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Dublin. Shout out.
And then when you get down to like the 1 listens, you get weird places. Tapura, Mato Grosso.
What are some of the what's the weirdest one with 1 play that's on that list?
Cyber Jaya Selangor. Want to take a guess? Cyber Jaya. Selangor.
The Ukraine?
Let's look it up here. I'm going to say Africa. Cyber Jaya is a town with a science park at the core that forms a key part of the multimedia supercorridor in Malaysia. So it's another Malaysian.
What?
And if you want to fly there, it's 20 hours and 35 minutes and will cost you $811.
I'd rather kill myself.
Average hotel, average hotel is only $32 a night. 5-star hotel, $67 a night. Well, yeah, we should take a trip to Malaysia,
you can live
man.
like a king.
We can live like kings.
Yo, Laurel will never let you leave that zip code without her. No way.
No
way.
She'll know. She'll know I'm never coming back. And then again,
that's great.
So the last episode, the one that we just put up, which was what, Captain Marvel, or did we do one after Captain?
No, it was Love, Death plus Robots.
Yeah, Love, Death plus Robots. So that had says it has a listen from Asia, but I can't. Ilocos, wherever Ilocos. I mean, just weird stuff, man. It's awesome. I don't know. I wanted to point it out because, like, if you are those listeners, that's awesome. Thank you so much for somehow finding this podcast and continuing to come back.
And for coming back.
Why? I don't know.
But that two dudes talk about the bullshit.
Talk a bunch of bullshit. But I don't know. It just means. So
I think it does. It really does. I mean, especially. I mean, because you'd been asking me to do something like this for a good bit before we actually, bit the bullet and started doing it. And I think what's been great, if I can just tangent off here for a minute, was the fact that it allows me, for one, to pick a time where I can every day or every week where I can just sit down and rap with you about life, really. And that's one of the better things that's come out of this process for me, at least.
I guess
I get to holler at you every week, and,
and we could bring more life into it. I guess we could be more serious about what really happened. Like I did Wednesday I did a field trip with Penelope to the Old Stone House, which is this kind of like house in the middle of Brooklyn that became like the focal point for the Battle of Brooklyn, which was cool.
Huh.
The weird thing about this was that it was me and 30 of these kids from her class and like the teachers, and they go up and they teach you about the Battle of Brooklyn. They teach you about the British. But I had this thought in the middle of it, because they're talking about the war between then Washington soldiers went over the hill and the British came around from the side in a pincer attack and yada 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 yada. But I thought, why are they teaching military tactics to kids? Not that it's inappropriate. It was just a weird choice.
But bro, what do you think Call of Duty is?
Sure, that's not made for 9-year-olds.
Yeah, you don't think it's made for teaching indoctrinating skill sets? Why do you think some of the best online players are children, 12 years old? Because higher reaction speeds, they pick up things quick. You get them while they're young, and the possibilities are endless. But there's no way that's a conscious idea in the back. I guess it's that's what I'm saying. You program it subconsciously, and it's already there. So that by the time they get to the age where, they're have you seen some of these new army ads, like recruiting ads? They are literally showing war now.
Yes.
They're showing battle scenes with dudes shooting AR and taking that's how they're recruiting for the army now. Remember when they were trying to recruit us? It was travel the world,
travel the world. Now they're shoot people.
Exactly, shoot motherfuckers in the face. That's how they're selling the army now, bro.
Yeah, there was actually I think an army ad before Captain Marvel, and if you think about Captain Marvel, there's all of that. The stuff with her flying the jet and so it's kind of she's an Air Force pilot, test pilot. You know what I'm saying? So because they I guess at this point they weren't letting women fly combat, which is dumb as shit. Yeah, I actually had to look that up. I remember because I think I was talking to Laurel about it, and she's like, they weren't really letting women fly in the 90s, and I was shocked. I was like, really? And I think the first female pilot wasn't until 91 or 96 or something like that. Jesus.
Yeah, it had to be 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been gnarly.
Yeah.
But it's all programming, bro. It's all programming, bro.
But why is I guess it's to me it's why is that important? We know that because I don't think that the schools somebody came to the schools and was listen, we really got to start programming these kids to accept the military, and that way we can get them to.
Why do they still teach motherfucking algebra?
Well, yeah, because lots of people want to grow up and be engineers, and you have to start that stuff from a young age.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, fuck yeah. That stuff is very important for specific jobs. That
when have you ever in your life used the quadratic equation for anything?
I don't know, but I'll tell you when I use fractions.
Name three people who do that that have used the quadratic equation ever in their life.
It's a very valid
because
question.
fraction is an algebra.
Yeah, but they feel like they got to start that stuff young. That's to me
it's
that's
bullshit.
more understandable. That's teaching the art of math. There's an art to math.
The art of math?
Oh yeah, for sure.
1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. That's math.
Right.
There's no art to it. It should be basic. This is how you add. This is how you subtract. This is how you divide.
But
this is what you're going to need.
What is 2/8 plus 1/4?
Solve for x.
Yeah.
There's these lines on the. No, come on, bro.
I don't know.
90% of the people I guarantee you, 90% of the people that if you polled them, could tell you, I have never used the quadratic equation.
Yes.
Will never use the quadratic equation for my 90, at least high 90.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was, but I know that I had to learn it, right?
You don't even remember what it was, bro.
Right.
That's my point.
Right, but that's the difference. But this is
why are they still teaching it though?
This is military tactics. I don't know. Sorry to go off on that tangent. It was just a weird thought. I wasn't upset by it. I just thought, wow, we're literally teaching how to flank somebody now. That's what we're teaching our kids.
Yeah.
How to flank and a force that we want to remove from a place.
Oh, I didn't even tell you about the weirdness that I got into in Baton Rouge because I'm in the South again.
Yes, you are. You want
to
talk
I'll
about
save that for another episode. It was just
Oh yeah. Well, we got 4 minutes.
We're approaching our limit. All right. Basically, it was this young kid, not kid. He was 28, 27, something like that. And I was out with one of my castmates. He's this cat from Connecticut, but his people's his heritage. He's Indian. So it's two brown motherfuckers sitting around, and we were having drinks or whatever. And this guy who's working at this place that we're drinking at, kind of strikes up a conversation with us over the course. We were talking. It started kind of gentle and genteel. We were talking about the ocean and sort of like the rising plastic problem. And he was like, "Oh well, I'm a ocean zoologist or some stuff." And then it took this weird deviation, and he started talking about America and how like they want to take it from us. And I was like,
"What?
Who's they?" And he's like, "Yeah, it went down this weird." And he was like, it sounded like he was pro-Trump, and I couldn't really tell because but he did have this weird way of talking about liberals, and like he brought up, there was all these buzzwords that I was like, "Oh, you're one of those." You know what I'm saying?
You have now entered the Trump zone.
It was weird. It was weird because it started kind of like we were talking about the same thing, and then all of a sudden he just started expelling this stuff about they don't want it, and that's why he's stockpiling ammunition, and how his girlfriend's mom is the some sort of commander in the Navy, and if a bunch of people got off in the government, then she would be the woman who would be. It got weird, bro, and I was just sitting there, literally, we were me and my boy were sitting there, we were like, huh. And then as soon as he kind of took off, we were like, yeah, we should go. And we got let's
get the fuck out of
here. Yo, yeah, but
I had the pleasant experience of seeing us and being the only white guy in the theater. And it was cool. Yeah. That's why I was texting you. I was like, I had the option of do I get Dorito nachos or regular nachos?
Oh, right.
And I got regular.
I was wondering what the fuck you were talking about. I was like, ew, Dorito nachos? What the fuck? Where are you?
I almost wanted to get them just to have something to talk about on the podcast. And I was like, no, I don't know. Just regular nachos.
Yeah, because then. Because then you'd have to be talking about your shitting again. You'd be like, yeah, so I had the Dorito nachos, and then I shit my brains out for the next 3 days.
Yeah, I didn't bring that up for any other reason, just to say it was an opposite of what is normally experienced for me going to the cinema. And it was no change.
You go Court Street?
What? Yeah, Court Street. Yeah, which is my favorite theater because it's you're with the people on Court Street,
right near your house.
Yeah. Right near the house. No, not the Cobble. Not Cobble Hill Street. That's the small theater. I like that one too. This is the Court Street. So there's
you talking about the one next to the Barnes and Nobles?
Yes, exactly. The one that we go to. You and I all the time. Yeah. And then about 10 minutes into the movie, these two older black ladies walk in, and they're probably in their mid to late 70s, right? And they sit down.
Oh, you don't know. Black don't crack, baby.
That's true. They're probably 90 years old.
They could be 100.
They're probably 105. These 106 years old black ladies sit down in front of me, and they're old and they're super cute, but they start off.
They're going to talk at the screen.
Oh yeah.
They're going to talk at the screen.
But they started off very cautiously. You know what I mean? Very quiet. But first they rustled around there was a lot of get this going, and whatever, and it's not like the type of movie.
You want some chicken?
I don't know. If it was Avengers,
I brought some potato salad over here.
I might be okay.
Oh, we didn't even talk about how the fact that don't buy no soda when you go see Avengers.
Why?
Because it's 3 hours long.
Oh yeah. Yes. You're kidding. Even if it was 2 hours, I still had to get up and go to the bathroom and us. It was only an hour and 35 minutes.
Well, for a man who shits as much as you do, you got the bird bladderest. You were the most bird bladderest motherfucker I've ever met in my life. You
Hydrated.
Got the tiny bird bladder. You always
hydrating. I hydrate. Get all that stuff out. Flush it out.
Here's your
Detox
warning
Plus.
now,
my
folks.
Detox Plus.
Get your Detox Plus on, and don't get no soda when you go see Avengers Endgame, because the shit is over 3 hours. Don't get no soda, because you ain't going to be crossing by me in the middle of no action sequence and not get chopped in the throat, or at least kneecapped in the back of the knee. I'm telling you right now, don't do it.
If 206-year-old black women sit in front of me at Avengers Endgame, I will politely lean over and be like, shh, guys, can you please?
No. I'm a very unpolitely be like, y'all gonna have to shut the fuck up. Auntie, I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Y'all gonna have to shut the fuck up.
You're still alive. Just do whatever you want. It's fine. Never mind. I can't tell old
You're
ladies
still alive.
anything.
You're still alive. Yeah.
You're still alive.
You're right.
Do whatever you want.
I can't. Yeah.
You know what?
Say that. Say whatever racist shit you want. I cannot. Yeah. You've lived as long as you want. You lived as long as this. Go ahead. Say that shit.
Now, if you were two 15-year-old white boys sitting in front of me, and you're talking,
you get knife edge chopped.
I'm not. You're not even
going
to hear anything. You're just gonna suddenly your head's gonna roll down the stairs. Just exactly. Choke. Shh, shh, shh.
It's quiet time now. It's quiet time now.
You're with your mama now. You're with your mama now.
Just drape something leisurely over their face as I leave the theater. He's dead tired. He just.
Are you quoting Commando now?
Yes, exactly. I love you, Ray Don.
That's a good note to go out on.
I love you, Ray Don. It's a great note.
I'm your host.
I'm your boy,
Lawrence Style.
Oh yeah, you go. And I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson.
We got patreon.com/whatweinto. Throw us $3 if you like it. You could cancel anytime. I'm trying to hide the fact that you pay it monthly. I don't think people know that. So I'm just like, just donate once.
They know now.
Now they do. Honestly, be careful with patreon.com/whatweinto. Because if you click on $20,
we're not Instagram models.
You're going to be giving us $20 a month.
That's every month.
That's every month, just so you know.
and we're not Instagram models. No one's going to show you their glutes. There's no gym selfies here.
Yes. And actually, Louis Salazar wrote you a text, and I got it right here.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He's an old college buddy of ours. He says, "Dude, I pretty much love your podcast. I'm tearing up here. Fun hearing you and Larry fuck around. I'm gonna donate, but I'm broke ass teacher with a mortgage and a kid. Did you fucks with the 1977 animated Hobbit movie? If you did, I think it would be a great re-review.
He's not wrong.
My brother and my shit when we were little. Hope you're doing well, my dude. So what we'll do at some point is you will rewatch that movie.
We should do those.
I'll rewatch all extended editions of The Hobbits, and we'll talk. And maybe I'll read the book. Maybe I'll finally finish the Hobbit book.
Well, the Hobbit actually it was the shortest of those books. It's an easy read.
I know. I started it.
That's why I didn't understand why they. That's why I just didn't understand why they had to make 3 movies out of that.
I started it and then was like, "This is not like the movies," and I tossed it out the window.
As you do.
Whatweinto@gmail.com. You can send us anything you want us to talk about. If you're in Jakarta, send us an email, please. Let us know who you are. I'm so curious. I'm curious about anybody who listens to this podcast who doesn't know us. We're going to send Louis Salazar a Starbucks card. If you made it to the end of the podcast, if you want a Starbucks card that my sister sent me that has a random amount of money on it, send us an email. It's whatweinto@gmail.com. I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson.
Thank you so much for listening.
And this is What We Into.
What We Into.
Who are you? What is this? Why are you here? I was alone, then you appear. You wanna get crazy? We can get crazy. That look that you giving don't faze me. Step in the light, let me look at your face. See who I am sending for pushing up daisies. Wait, I'm looking at me. It's a mistake. It couldn't be. I don't get none of this. Really, what's happening? Baffling. It's like a mannequin channeling me. Hyperventilating, panicking, calling the bishop, exorcist, and Vatican. Are you a snatcher? You better fight, cause only one of us is in the night. You come in my house, I'm in your life. I'll introduce you to the end of a knife. Hunting, do what you gonna do.